Hello, my name is Tim Molony, and I'm a candidate for treasurer in the city of Norwood. I'm happy to say that I'm currently your treasurer, and I appreciate all the confidence you show in me the last several times that I've run. For those of you that don't know me, I'm kind of a Norwood Army brat. I've lived in homes on Marsh Avenue, Warren Avenue, Cleveland Avenue, spent most of my life on Floral Avenue. I also lived on Dacey and currently live on Irving Place. I went to schools in the Norwood system. I went to Allison Elementary, St. Elizabeth, St. Matthew High School at St. Xavier High School, and I've got a bachelor's degree in accounting from Xavier University and also an MBA of finance from Xavier University. I am also certified by the state of Ohio as a public funds investment manager. I'm married to April for just about 18 years now, and I'm the father of 4 daughters. My youngest daughter, Sarah, is currently a senior at Ursuline. With me today is Hamilton County Auditor and good friend to the city of Norwood, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty, thanks for coming today.
Always a pleasure, Tim. This is the 20th anniversary, I think, of our first broadcast together.
It is. We've been doing this a long time.
We're going to make it a series and sell it on CDs or
I like that.
DVRs.
That's a good idea.
It's good to be with you because we're kind of in the same boat. I've got an independent office in Hamilton County government, and yours is an independent office in Norwood, right?
Right. Well, that's how we try to run the office. You know, whether it's a Republican mayor, Democrat mayor, or whoever has control of council, really doesn't matter to us. We try to sometimes keep our head down, let the bullets fly over the top of us.
Right, absolutely.
And just work hard trying to be the best treasurer. And so, you know, that means a couple of things to me. One, when the mayor asks a question, when the mayor wants me to attend a meeting, when council does the same thing, I'm there. Other than that, I'm in our office, and I'm trying to do the best I can down there, and I'm not trying to be the fire chief or police chief or a council person, and everybody's got a job to do, and it's just like your work, your normal work. You know, if everybody does their job, the company runs a lot smoother, and it's the same way in city government.
Well, in county government, it's the same thing because I don't make policy, and you don't make policy either, but your job is to make sure the trains run on time and give the people who are making policy the very best service you can, and the service to the constituents too. So it's sometimes people don't understand that, and I get emails, I get questions, I know you do too, from people on policy matters, and they just don't understand that yours is more of a what they call a ministerial office. You don't make the laws, you have to follow them.
That's correct.
And you have to follow the direction of the council and the mayor as well.
That's right. And, you know, in Norwood we have 2 other offices, the law director office and the auditor, who's also another financial office in the city. So we try to work with all offices, and I think we do a pretty good job at that.
I think you have too, and our job is to work with all the communities, and it's always easy to work with Norwood when we interface with you and give you the information you need and ask you for information that comes to us. And it's a testimony, no matter what's happening at the policy level, the offices down under them, like you, are consistent and solid and giving us the good information we need. And I'll tell you, we appreciate that.
Well, thank you, thank you. We work hard at that.
I know you do. I know you do. And you have established that reputation with us, and it's good. A lot of the communities we enjoy working with, there's always some problem areas, but we don't have problems with your office. It's smooth as can be.
Well, that's
and we appreciate it. It makes our job better, and we understand that if we make a mistake, it affects your work, and so we double check and triple check everything, and I know you do too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be right. You want to have let council and the mayor's office and the citizens know that the information you're giving them is correct, and that's our job.
Your job is bigger than it was 20 years ago for sure, and I know it's increased quite a bit in the last few years.
Well, It has, and I'm happy to say that this year we're on track to set a record for the city of Norwood, over $18 million worth of earnings tax collection. And it's just been a tremendous year. We're very busy. And, you know, when I started 20 years ago, there were 8 full-time people in the office and the treasurer. And today there are 4 full-time people in the office and the treasurer. So not only are we collecting more, we've been able to do that with less staff. And really, what else has grown, especially with mandatory filing, is the amount of accounts that that we have to deal with. And right now, believe it or not, there's over 39,000 different accounts, going back for a couple of years, because you leave the accounts open over so many years because people file late, people don't file, and those accounts are open so you can collect and make sure everyone's paying their fair share. And that's really our goal. Whether you're a established company, a new company, or a newer established resident, the key is just to make sure everybody's paying their fair share. In Norwood, companies that are located here pay earnings tax on their profits, their net profits,
Right.
and they pay earnings tax for the people that they employ. And businesses, with those two things, pay 92% of this $18 million that we collect. And so you can see when we spend so much time trying to recruit new businesses, keep old businesses, help businesses grow, it's such a big deal in Norwood because those companies pay the bulk by far of the earnings tax collected.
Well, you must be doing something right because of the companies that are located here in the past couple of years. The Board of Elections is here now.
Right.
Paycor is another company.
Absolutely.
We've noticed that. But, you know, I can't get over the fact that you're doing more work with less people, and you kind of parallel what I'm doing because I did the same thing. I cut our staff from 174 to 78.
Well, you do that by, you know,
attrition.
instituting good policies and
Right.
procedures, making sure your software is updated and putting some good computer software to work for you, and just working hard, hiring good people. That's a key to
That
key
is
for
the
us.
key, and it benefits the taxpayer too. I mean, because it costs less to run your office with fewer people, a lot more work. That's a win-win. Anyway,
Absolutely it is.
For the taxpayers and for the community, and I think that's noteworthy.
Well, we strive to do the best we can. You know, we have an awful lot of contact, not only with other city departments, with the state government, but with citizens. And I have to say, when the phone rings in our office, usually it's an issue.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's not real happy, and so being able to get to the real issue and help someone solve their problem is high on our list of priorities.
I like that too. I always like to answer my phone calls.
Right.
And because it's amazing the kind of things you pick up by just talking to people and being accessible to people and not hiding in some corner and
Right.
not being out and about. And I know you're all over the community, so people can get to you pretty easy if they want.
Easy. That's correct. That's correct.
That's terrific. Now, you're working with the state auditor now in the fiscal emergency situation.
Right.
And how is that going?
Well, it's going good. You know, I like to say, you know, we've collected a lot of money, lots of new industry in town. On the downside, though, earlier this year, as most citizens know, we were put into fiscal emergency by the state of Ohio for a couple of reasons. And what the state does then is they have a state-appointed financial commission
Right.
that meets here in Norwood, along with 3 residents that help the city get our feet back underneath us. What this is, though, it's a 60-month plan. It's a 5-month plan, or I'm sorry, a 5-year plan to get healthy. And so while a lot of the decisions we want done right away, the state is smart enough to know that it took us a long time to get to this position, and it's going to take us some time to get out. What the Treasurer's Office does there is really a twofold approach. One is we work close with the auditors with estimating how much earnings tax is going to come in the next 5 years. Now that's a moving target,
Yeah, right.
and you try to be conservative a little bit, but give them good information, because this plan is going to be based on how much revenue is going to come in. The second thing I do really is I'm a department head, and so I'm under the gun in my budget to make sure that my head count and other things that we spend money on are right in line and make sure we're getting a good deal. So just not the earnings tax collection part, but I'm working with the state auditors all the time on what my departments can spend and how we approach our expenses, things like that.
I can tell you that Dave Eustace is a friend of mine, the state auditor. He was a county auditor in Delaware County before he took the state office. And it's so darn important that you're working with them, because there's stories of communities that have been in a similar situation where it's like pulling teeth to get anything accomplished.
Right.
And the only way that you really can fix this is with somebody like you who knows what they're doing and is willing to work with them and cooperate and help them as they help you. So it's a two-way street, and
Right.
you recognize that. You'd be surprised some of the communities that don't, Tim.
Well, that's where I think my experience helps.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
being able to work with the auditors, work with these companies in here, and try to bring us to a point that we can use some of this money for things like streets and better equipment for our public works, our police and fire, things that we really need as a city. And it's only through good hard work that that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that protects the community too, because you know everybody's standing there waiting, and there's been some talk about, well, Cincinnati should annex Norwood, and you know where I'm coming from with that.
Right.
I don't like any of that. I appreciate the independent communities close to the people, able to work with the people, in the final analysis. That's what really counts, rather than some big super government. And by the work you're doing, I say you're helping the community to maintain its independence and as well its fiscal operations. So,
Well, we're certainly doing our best, and we're going to try to do that for another 4 years. And so, with that, I appreciate you taking the time for coming today, and I appreciate the folks out there listening to our 15 minutes. And I would appreciate your vote on November 7th. That's Tim Molony for Norwood City Treasurer. Thank you.